Okay, this is Lieutenant Colonel Harry Thaddeus Stewart Jr., one of the Tuskegee Airmen on a single day. This dude went ham, grits, potato, oatmeal, French toast, and syrup. He shot down 3 Germans in a single day. And a little thing about those planes back then, they actually couldn't carry a whole bunch of bullets. So a little bit of a hint, hint, blink, blink is you got to be hella accurate. And he died. He was born on the 4th of July, and he died Black History Month. Man, I always say this right here. You can say whatever you want to, and it's the reason why I'm gonna tell you something. I don't even sit back and I don't even worry about these racist people. I don't. I just know for a fact God got our back. You can do whatever you want to, man. You born on the 4th of July, you die Black History Month. This man's life is looked over by God Almighty. God is like, let me show you something. Like out of 365 days, you born on the 4th of July out of 12 months, and you lived 100 years. He died at 100. What is 12 times 100? Out of 1,200 months of your life, you live what? If my math is correct, right? 12 months in a year times 100. Hold on. Am I correct? I want to make sure I get this shit right. You multiply 12 months, right, time 100 years. Like seriously. And you just happen to die. And then look at this. Black History Month is the shortest month. And you just happen to die. Man, I'm going to tell you something. God Almighty is throwing up his middle finger to racists. And we might not perceive how God does everything, man. We may not perceive it. But man, I'm telling you something. This country and bigoted people, they really got something coming for them. And I wouldn't be surprised if this apocalyptic idiot who we got in the White House actually winds up throwing people into the Middle East. And that exactly is probably the area that we end up, this country winds up dying in, because we're already in our death throes. At least we're becoming isolated. And Donald J. Trump attempted to eliminate this guy right here, the history that he was part of. And Ron DeSantis, it's a bunch of Republican grifters out there, black dudes that's Trump grifters. But like I said, these guys get no respect from me. This dude's life is so honorable in his accomplishments. Everything, man. From the day you was born to the day you die and just look at what he had to go through. He's got a lot of his pictures online where, he wore, his uniform. This is him at 100, but you should just look at a lot of the pictures of him, even in his 70s and 80s. He still looked good. I'm not using his best images now, but even in his 70s and 80s, he looked good. It can be deceiving because only in the last 10 or so years did he really, really, really start to break down. But this brother looked good, man, all the way up until his 70s and 80s. And I'll tell you something, Tuskegee, he is also evidence of something. Love it or hate it. What they refer to as black people in this country, they didn't bring all of us over here on a boat. This brother's part native. If you look up especially his pictures when he was in his 60s and 70s, he's very red skinned. He's a black man, but this is an old black and white photo. This is his young photo, but he's a real, real red skinned guy. You could say predominantly black, but he's native, actually indigenous native too, black and native. And the name Tuskegee is a native name. Just think of that. Booker T. Washington built Tuskegee College. It's the first black college built down south, and it's named after a so-called quote unquote Indian people. See, these people be playing games with y'all, and y'all just don't realize it. But hats off to this guy. What Donald Trump said and tried to do is unforgivable. And as a black man, if you have any type of honor, you would never, until Donald Trump issues. If Donald Trump as a man can't come to some honorable, but there's something about Trump. I've never seen Donald Trump have a serious conversation with an honorable, upstanding black man. He only surrounds himself with clown type dudes and little subservient boys like Byron Donald. But yeah, I can't respect black male Donald Trump supporters at all until he in some shape or way, recognizes the second big mistake he done made. Central Park 5, and then, this brother right here. But this guy here, on a side note, he is another black man who's egg in the face to white supremacy. I'm going to tell y'all about Jack Johnson. I would include the Jack Johnson thing in here, but I don't want to make the video too long. But he shot down 3 Germans in one day, and they never lost a bomber. Imagine if you was playing a video game that was strictly online for about 27 months. A little bit over 2 years. And the only objective y'all had was to shoot down a certain aircraft. And you just couldn't do it. Every single time, the bomber craft from this spacecraft always hit your base. Their bombers always hit your base, and there's nothing you could do about it. No matter how many nerdy, geeky, punk-ass dudes you found, nobody could never penetrate their anti-air force field, air squad. You could say, just think about it in futuristic terms. Because back then, flying, even the bomber planes we look at as primitive were looked at as damn near spacecraft back then. And imagine if this spacecraft had a force field that was just the baddest motherfuckers from whatever galaxy they come from. But imagine, you mean to tell me the aliens that operate those planes that make it impossible to hit your spacecraft were slaves on your planet? I think your society has a lot of things wrong. But anyways, yeah, man, imagine never being able to hit that damn aircraft. No matter what you did, it was impossible. They never lost a single bomber. And the guy you're looking at, he was part of the crew that did it, and he's part of the men today that blue-eyed men disingenuously look in the face and say, you don't have my abilities. Motherfucker, put me and you up in that plane. Put me and you up in that plane, and I guarantee you, same training, bitch is over with. Anyways, rest in peace to this brother. I know with the way that this guy was born, with the life that he lived, the things that he accomplished, the way that he looked good up until his 70s and 80s, and the day that he died, just think of that, man. This man is in the hands of God. I'm out.